Hello again. Back with some more Valiant Thor facts. This is definitely my last video, okay? I just want to do the last recap. So, if you didn't catch what I said the first time, let me tell you once and for all again. To investigate this story, this is where I started. The Rio conference, the Howard Menger conference, okay, was a small conference at his Highbridge home, actually his dad's home, which of course was his also. And this was like I told you guys, that year was 1956. You can say 1957 if you like, but I already mentioned why I believe it was later on in 56. But anyways, let's stick to the 56 for now, okay? Because that's when it first all popped out. So, as you guys can clearly see, this is this conference, and if you look at the photograph yourselves, up close and personal. I mean, I would say for you guys to examine it yourselves. You can see that all these people, they're looking at this gentleman over here who's talking. Now, Howard Menger's over here with his wife Rose at the time. Okay, so of course that's his home, and he is the host of his conference. I told y'all that the root of the Valiant Thor story had to have started here, at this conference right here. Okay, because of course, this is supposedly Valiant Thor right here, right? And Jill and Dawn, so this is where it all began. And yes, I know that I've already told y'all my conclusion of what I've said, but again, this is a recap. So, when you see that they're all looking at the gentleman that's speaking, that be this guy right here who's sitting on the chair, I don't quite know his identity. I'm not sure who he is. I mean, he could be George Van Tassel, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But I do know that George Van Tassel also knew Howard Menger, and that's clearly how they met too at one point. But also the way that Howard Menger met Connie Menger also was a conference. And I think he said at his house, and the only blonde here, as you noticed, is the Jill girl, female rather. But I'm not, again, I know that you guys heard me say that may be Connie Menger, but hey, you can decide for yourselves on that one. But anyways, if Howard Menger was the host, okay guys, he's the host of this conference that we're looking at, why didn't he mention to his guests about Valiant Thor, or Valiant Thor, right? A supposed commander from a starship that's called Victor 1, okay? And for me, that's like, because Frank, of course, was making this Valiant Thor character an important person, which, of course, and that would mean that this Valiant Thor person would be Howard Menger's important person, considering that Howard said there were Venusians going to his home. Okay, so my point obviously is that if Valiant Thor was real, or Valiant Thor, okay, if it was real, Howard Menger would have been talking about Valiant Thor. As far as August C. Roberts, the man who took the photographs, I already explained to you guys that he was part of this elaborate hoax, okay? If you paid attention to everything I've been telling you guys, from him working with Gray Barker from 53 all the way down to 1962, and not only that, but in between, he was also working with James Mosley as well. The Nexus magazine and some of the publications as well. You know, and for anyone to say to me that maybe he was afraid to talk about taking those photographs of those Venusians, again, I kind of argue with that statement simply because I don't think that's true, because he was not afraid to state what he believed in, okay? Because he went to Howard Menger's home, he knew Howard Menger, they were friends, and he confirmed that Howard Menger's photos and everything were legit, okay? As you guys will soon later know, that how can you believe those photographs? I'm not saying that August C. Roberts was a fake photographer, because he wasn't. He was a real photographer, yes. But he knew the art of manipulating photos. So what I'm getting at is that he was helping Howard develop his story. Okay? And if you guys look at the book, okay, From Outer Space to You, which is Howard Menger's book, published by Gray Barker, the Mr. Big Hoaxer of the 1950s, who didn't believe in none of that shit, okay? He didn't believe in UFOs. He actually made fun of all these people, you know, because he called them spooks or whatever. He only believed to one small degree. But, you know, it's just that a lot of people just make this shit so outrageous that it's hard to believe who's telling the truth. But anyways, so August C. Roberts writes in the bulletin, of course, because he's the editor of the Saucerian Bulletin. As I told y'all, he works for Gray Barker. Okay, and once you see that these articles he's mentioning in Howard Menger's home, he said that he saw the photographs and all and everything else, and it's all good. Now, you know he must have been lying when he said that, because he was probably just being sarcastic about it. Or he was trying to help his friend, Howard Menger, of course. You know, to develop his little Venusian guests and all this shit. But then, the funny part is that we have, if you check the other Saucerian Bulletin pages of different months, that is, you will notice how Howard Menger was criticized by a different organization that study into the UFO alien phenomenon, simply because they said that his pictures were inconclusive. Okay, you cannot see those photographs clear; they're blurry, and of course they're dark. And if you examine the photographs carefully, you will see that August C. Roberts did the same exact photographs like that before. It's there. I tried to show you guys before, you know, where he shows a luminous spaceship, okay? And then there's a model in front of it. That's what Howard shows. But what I'm trying to show you guys is that the consultant for these photographs for Howard's book was August C. Roberts, his friend. Okay? So again, this is how this story starts to crumble and crumble and crumble. And as it crumbles, you guys see that if this story is simply crumbling, this Valiant Thor story can't be possibly true. Cannot be true. Okay? So, and then the funny part, when you guys examine this whole photograph, okay? This whole photograph, like I showed y'all before, the female that's supposedly called Tanya, she's way over here. Okay, this is her right here. Please don't say it's not her. Zoom in to this photograph right here. Okay, and you guys will see that's the same female in the color photograph. Hold on, I'm about to show you guys right here. That would be her right here. That's her. Okay? So, you see, it's funny because August C. Roberts was not stupid, obviously. He knew what he was doing because he was moving around, taking photographs. So now, he had the ability to make this photo right here a hoax. This is a doctored conference right here. It's a doctored conference. That's what I've been telling you guys from the beginning. Now, I know that may be hard to believe, but then when I pointed to you guys that this the children or child right here disappears, and this car right here, it disappears. When you go to the other photographs, that's the same one as this. So when you guys see this, the female with the legs crossed and arms crossed, you see the same thing, and the guy over here, of course, peeking through, because of course the photo was somewhat shut down or cropped closer when it's a full big photo, okay? But you must wonder why did they edit it to that degree? Here, right here, you see? This is the full version of it. And you still see the female there, but then you don't see the children in front of her. And then the car disappears. Like I did say to you guys before, if this was the case of them moving around, you would have been able to see the child still there in that little area or moving somewhat, or the car moving away. You know, not saying like, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about, okay? It doesn't take a genius to realize that. So anyways, you see this guy that's crouching over. You see him in the color photo. And again, I don't understand why they didn't show these people in that color photo. Why did they shut all this down? And for me, what I get from this is that it was altered, okay? These photographs have been altered. It's easy to tell. Like I showed you, okay? The child is missing and the car is missing. And they're all sitting the same way, as you can see. It's not me, because I'm not a photographer. Alright? You see that? They're all sitting the same way. Here's the child and here's the car. And they're all still sitting the same way. That shows you that someone has manipulated the photos. That be August C. Roberts. Okay? Now, and it's funny because in all of these photographs that supposedly August C. Roberts took, you keep seeing this gentleman, of course, Valiant Thor, right? As everyone calls him, with his head down, constantly writing notes. And that's where I come in when I say it doesn't make sense that you would say that an advanced human-looking being with an IQ over 1200 or whatever, right? Why would he be sitting down at a conference of human beings that are not on their level, by the way, and he's writing notes? But yet, people gonna sit there and tell me that this is a damn Venusian or someone not from Earth. That clearly looks like someone from Earth, and I already told everyone who he is. Frank, of course. But anyways, I see, and I remember showing you guys this photograph right here where you see there's an anomaly right here on his hair, and there's an anomaly right here. Once again, the reason that it was shown in that manner was they wanted to conceal Frank's identity so no one can doubt that that's him doing this big old hoax, you know, that he's some kind of Venusian. Indirectly, that is, because of course I'm not saying that Frank came out in the open and said, "Hey, I'm Valiant Thor from the planet of Venus." Of course not. Okay, but he used the photograph of himself that August C. Roberts took. August C. Roberts helped him with it, and that's what I've been telling all of you guys, that it's all a big game. They all are in it, from Gray Barker to James Mosley, August C. Roberts to Howard Menger. They're all in on it. Okay? Now, I already told y'all that Howard Menger didn't know, obviously, about this particular story because he already, you know, I think he met Frank later on in the years, as I said. You know, so I would say that he met Howard when he went to Howard's conference. The one I just showed you guys, okay? That right there. Of this gentleman right here. This is Frank. And I believe that's the day that he met Howard Menger. Because, of course, like he said, he lived in Irvington, New Jersey at the time. And it's kind of impossible that if you're in Irvington, New Jersey, and you got a local celebrity that's talking about he had, you know, he had contacts with extraterrestrials that are not from Earth, particularly Venus, right? Or Mars, or Saturn, or Jupiter, or wherever the fuck, that is the case. But, you know, I find it funny that Julie Strangers was trying to tell me that, you know, that Frank Ernest Strangers did not attend, but she couldn't possibly know that because she wasn't his wife at the time. You know, his wife, of course, was Bernice C. Rabb, as I've mentioned before. You know, they both were about the same age, yes, because she was born in 1927 herself. So they were about the same age. That's what I'm saying. If you guys start from there, you can see there's a lot of things that doesn't add up, okay? And I know that some people perhaps may believe what I'm saying and some people may not. And like I said, I'm not here to convince you. That is up to you to decide. But all I can say to all of you out there, examine the facts for yourselves. And you can see that it's not me who's manipulating this story, you know, so that you guys cannot believe that Frank was telling the truth. I'm actually telling you my opinion based on all facts that I have examined in front of me throughout these years, okay, that allowed me to say that this story has always been a hoax. And it continues to be supported by those who don't want holes in their pockets. Okay? So when someone comes up and they talking about that I am lying because Valiant Thor is real, but yet they can't validate by bringing in a demonstration of any kind or any photographs of any kind. So, you know, like I said, all they're trying to do is support it. They're supporting it because they don't want to lose money. They want to keep running these little lectures so people like you guys out there can go and pay hundreds of dollars just to listen to straight bullshit that's not real. Okay? But like I said, if this was me in this particular situation, I would have handled it a lot different than what these people claim, okay? You got all these claimants, all these old people coming up out of the woodworks, talking about they're Venusians or from Mars or Saturn or wherever the bumfuck in the universe, right? But then they don't show you any type of evidence. Nothing. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to believe that? The answer to that is no. If I had this experience myself, yes, I would have spoke about it, but I would have tried my hardest to show you guys that I am not lying. Okay, I would have tried to talk to these extraterrestrial beings and tell them, listen, these humans are not going to believe me, you know, because I'm just saying things and they're not going to believe me if you don't show yourselves to them, you know. And obviously they're going to listen or try to listen to me, right? They're not going to stay because... And it's funny because that's why I said that these people, these con artists out there, they always make it seem that you have to be so spiritual in order to be in tune so they can reveal themselves to you. That's what they always say, okay? But then you're going to sit there and say that they went to the Pentagon, right? With the government officials and damn nearly all those people in there are not even religious. So please tell me, how is it that me, being a civilian, can't see Valiant Thor or any of these aliens because I'm not spiritually in tune, but yet the government officials of this country, America, or other countries, they're not spiritually inclined, but yet they can meet these fucking Venusians and others? Come on, man, make sense of that, okay? Because to me, it doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense, not one bit. I really would like that one day, perhaps, the government of the United States and the world itself reveal that we do have visitors that are not from this planet, obviously, you know. But again, you know, that's something that it's difficult to explain, you know, because, like I said, there's elite people on this planet, and I know you know who I'm talking about. And they're out there and they control things, so things are not really what it seems, and maybe they don't want us to know certain things for a reason, okay? Because I consider some people on this planet straight greedy, okay? Greedy. Because if you find out of a technology that's so advanced, there are some people in this world that want to keep it all to themselves and not even show anyone because they want an advantage over everyone else. But that's them. Will I say that that is something that I would do? No, that's not something that I would do unless it was required of me by these advanced beings not to do. You know, so if it was like, well, they're like, no, well, we don't feel that all humanity is prepared for this technology, please don't reveal it. Then maybe I would say, okay, fine. Now, if it's on some fucking hostile shit where they want to, you know, colonize this world, then no, I can't keep that to myself. I have to reveal it to the world so that we can, you know, prepare to defend ourselves against these hostile beings from outer space, if that is the case, of course. But again, you know, like I recapped here everything about the Valiant Thor story. It all begins at the Howard Menger home in High Bridge, New Jersey. Like I told y'all, the High Bridge incident had nothing to do with no Valiant Thor. Nothing at all. Okay? Because remember the description that Howard Menger gave in his book, From Outer Space to You. He's talking about two men with long blonde hair and a woman with long blonde hair. Okay? And yes, I know some people was asking me and saying, "Damn, that's kind of weird. Why is it that they always talk about that it has to be a Caucasian alien? Why haven't someone said it was a tan skin alien or something like that? Which is true actually. You always hear these contactees talking about Caucasian advanced beings from the universe. And that also raises a red flag because, come on, you know what I mean? Because it should be more about, if there are many races in this whole universe, okay, of beings that are advanced, I don't think it would just be Caucasian looking, okay, with long blonde hair and blue eyes, and so I believe there'll be a variety, just like on this planet there's a variety of races. People with blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes, hazel eyes, and on and on. You guys get the point? So it's not cool to put limits, but again, these contactees, we're talking about Caucasian beings from the universe. I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, way back in those times, you can tie racism still at those time frames. Wait, right here, you don't see any black people here at Howard Menger's home there. You see all white folks sitting right there. Okay? I mean, you gotta tell the facts. The facts are the facts, right, guys? But anyways, my point is that if you guys want to continue believing that this Valiant Thor story is true, go ahead. Keep throwing all your hard-earned money into this, when you're going to see that eventually you're going to be disappointed because you'll never meet this Valiant Thor person, ever. Ever. Because, of course, you're going to keep getting these typical responses every time that you have a question that it's a valid question. So these people are going to try to run around your question. Okay? Just like Julie Strangers did to me. She ran around the question when she said to me that she speaks to Valiant Thor today, still, like she communicates with him, still, but yet she can't produce any photographs or any proof because Valiant Thor would not allow her, just like he didn't allow Frank. So, you guys can decide what you want to make of that, okay? And not even Craig Campabasso was able to see this Valiant Thor individual. And he met Frank in 2001. That's the part that I'm still like, damn, you would think, right? If I'm your friend and I'm making these claims of a Venusian or Martian that contacts me, wouldn't I introduce you to him like I would if there was someone that you don't know? And I would be like, oh, yo, this is my friend Brian. Here you go, Brian. Hey, Frank, meet Brian. Brian, meet Frank. That would be very respectful. But it would be very disrespectful that here I am with this guy who I claim is my friend, and here you are, who you're my friend, but I don't introduce you to him. All the way till I die. Clearly, you'll find that as a fucking disrespect. But yeah, Craig Campabasso made a movie. He actually made another motion picture about Valiant Thor, but it's based on a true story. Well, it shouldn't be, It should be based on fiction, because it is a fictional story. It's not real. Okay? It's an idea that came out of a man who borrowed, ideas from other people. That be from movies of the 1951, 54, fucking magazines, people like fucking George Adamski, and others. And others, okay? And others. But that's all I'm trying to tell you guys is that if you want to continue believing, go ahead. You want to keep paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars just for these lectures, for people can talk to you about Valiant Thor, someone who they can't bring to you face to face, okay? But you want to pay hundreds of dollars just to see them speak about Valiant Thor. Come on, guys. Make some sense of that. Make some sense of that, because it doesn't make no sense at all that you're going to go to a lecture of these people who are claiming to have contact with beings from outer space, But yet they can't come to you with no evidence, no evidence whatsoever, okay? No demonstration of any kind. And that's exactly what Phil Snyder did. He did the same exact thing. He was showing supposedly artifacts that were not from Earth, right? But yet you can't make a demonstration of some sort to show people that those artifacts really are extraterrestrial. Examine the interviews, guys. Examine the YouTube lectures that you see him on. Okay? You don't see him making any demonstrations. He's just talking about it. Just like all these contactees of the 1950s. All they did was talk about it. Did they show you any type of evidence? No. They just show you these stupid photographs that look fake as hell, like lamps or fucking covers of trash cans, you know? Or they'll show you some fucking, like Howard Menger did. He used his little drones, spaceship drones that he created himself in 1951. I call them drones. Because, of course, that's what they're known as today, right? It's just funny to me, man, how people just take in everything and leave it in there. Let it soak in their brain. You know, not me. Sorry. I don't care who you are. To me, you have to have enough solid evidence for me to believe you. Okay, so if you cannot provide any solid evidence, I'm not going to believe you. So I don't care if it was whoever it is, just like a psychic, okay? They want to charge you hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to fucking reel you in and tell you bullshit. Because common sense, if I'm not even a psychic, but I can tell you the method that they do, you know? Here you go, you'll see, here you are, and they're expecting you to be the psychic, right? So there's a room full of 100 people or 300 people, okay? You're clearly gonna identify something that one of those, if not 2 or 3 or 4, 5 people there or more, are gonna identify with. And there you go. It's a hot and cold, pretty much. Okay, just like magicians, like I told you. These little magic illusions, they do not work if they don't have the behind the scene help. Now I'm talking about the big magic illusions, okay? Like David Copperfield magic type. Okay? All that shit about him flying around and all this shit. All that is an illusion to make you believe it's real, guys. It's not real. It's all fake. Okay? He can't perform none of that by himself. He can't. How can he perform that without having his backstage help? Okay? Remember, these people, they pay hundreds of dollars themselves just for props and, you know, things that they know about already. You know, but again, this is not about magicians. This is about people who are claiming to be contactees of these advanced beings that are not from Earth. I believe they exist, yes. But do I believe these contactees? No, I don't. Sorry, but I don't. Because again, there's no solid evidence that it's real. Okay? Now, there are other cases that make you wonder and like that, you know, you think. But, you know, like I said, I started this whole channel with the Valiant Thor first because I realized no one was really talking about this one. No one was trying to challenge it, you know. And the only one I saw do that was this guy who does Brain Scratch. Actually, he does a very good job at what he does. His name is John Lorden, and I give him much respect for that. You guys look him up on the YouTube channel. Okay, his name is John Lorden, and he does Brain Scratch. He does different type of cases, okay? But anyways, yeah, I saw him do the Valiant Thor thing, and I was interested because I was like, wait a minute. I wanted to, you know, to help him out because he said that he found dead ends because he didn't know where to go. But, I was a little too late. I was trying to let him know that I've been investigating this story for a long time. You know, so he pretty much moves on after that. So, but like I said, guys, you know, again, you can choose to believe this story if you like. You don't have to believe me if you don't want to. You know, but common sense, guys. You're not going to have an advanced, whether it be an advanced gray, tall yellow, blue, whatever, okay? They're not going to be sitting at a conference writing notes, looking like typical humans. All right? Well, you would think that an advanced being explained to us the meaning of life. You know, how technology works. They would be the main person talking at any of these conferences. That's what I believe. Because why would I need to believe how, you know, to listen to Howard Menger or Paola Harris or Craig Campabasso or anyone out there? Why would I need to listen to them when I can hear these extraterrestrial beings themselves come face to face with us and show us themselves right in front of us by talking and us listening? No, but instead we got all these bunch of actors, and that's how I gotta call them, actors and actresses, that all they do, it's pretend. But I'm not gonna fall for that. Not one bit. You know, so I respect everyone's opinion out there, but again, I mean, I'm not trying to make you believe in what I believe in. You choose to believe in what you want to believe in. But based on my evidence that I have gathered throughout these years, this story you're looking at is a hoax. Including Howard Menger's story is a hoax as well. Alright? It doesn't get any better than that, guys. So with that, I'm going to say that you guys decide. Let me know. You can like this video if you like. You can hate it. Give me a dislike. You can subscribe if you like. You know, it's not like I'm really into being subscribed to or whatever. It's up to you guys. All right. And yeah, this is my final video because my live feed will be next week. Okay, that'll be my live feed. What happened was that I was trying to figure out how to do it first before I do it. And that's why I didn't do it like today or any other day. I just want to wait till next week so I get everything done. So yeah, it'll be a live feed. If you guys want to come, ask me questions live. There we go. You know, we can have this live discussion. How I got to where I got. Even though that I mentioned everything on video, you guys can see everything. From Howard Menger to Gray Barker to August C. Roberts to Phil Snyder to James Mosley. Come on, guys. I mean, the list goes on in terms of hoaxers, okay? And it's basically about paying attention to the things that you are looking at, because not everything is what it seems, you know? I try to believe, and I don't think that I don't go into these investigations with an open mind. I do go into these investigations with an open mind, okay? So for anyone to try to criticize and say that I don't, clearly there's something wrong with you guys, because I do go in with an open mind about this. I don't just close my mind to everything. I examine every single thing about the stories, and then I conclude from there. So again, guys, I'm going to be closing this video. Like I said, if you want to subscribe, you can. You can like the video. You can not like it. And I guess I'll see you at the live feed, guys. You guys take care.